Estrogenics. What is it and why should you avoid it? So, topic of today's video is estrogenics. They are substances that act like estrogen in the body. And why do we need to know this? Well, we don't want more estrogen in the body. We want to have a good balance, right? But if us as men want to increase our testosterone, increasing our estrogen, and especially not naturally, this is all not naturally, is going to very much destroy our testosterone levels. It is going to, like, estrogenic stuff is one of the leading causes of like infertility, you know, all these issues, like even gynecomastia. Gynecomastia is freaking man boobs, man titties, which is not a nice look. Okay, so you want to be avoiding these things at all costs. You don't want these to mimic estrogen in your body. Okay, they're just like aromatase, like I said with body fat. But yeah, let's go over the top 10 estrogenics. Okay, so I got this list from Estrogeneration. So if you guys want to read that book, you can. It's not in the description. But yeah, top 10 estrogenics. Number 1, phytoestrogens. What does phyto mean? Phyto means plant. Legit. So if it's in the name, you know it's estrogenic. Phytoestrogens. So the biggest out of the plant community, biggest estrogenics is the soy and flax. These have like 100,000 milligrams more than everything else, which is crazy. And so, you know, when we see like soy isoflavone, it has high amounts of phytoestrogens, and we want to avoid that at all costs. So try avoiding eating soy sauce, especially what's worse than those, like the tofu and shit, is like when it's processed. Because when it's processed, the estrogenic material or properties get amplified. So basically, like soy protein, like, dude, that's even worse. That's one of the worst things. So yeah, so plant estrogens, they're like the least, how do I say this, least problematic, but they are still problematic. So if you can't, dude, just avoid soy, avoid flax. You know, the flax seeds. I was in my parents' house and they have the flaxseed crackers. Like, whoa, no. Yeah, so avoid those at all costs. Okay, it's not that hard, you know what I mean? Soy and flax. Anyway, mycoestrogens is on number 2. Myco means fungus. So basically anything that can get moldy. So that includes like grain. Well, that's mostly grain, right? If you're in a moldy room, that sucks too. Clean that shit out. But you know, bread can get moldy, and it's an estrogenic shit, man. So yeah, so grains, man, I mind going around this, but like that's only one problem with grains, like carbohydrates, like rice grains, like they can get moldy for one. That's mostly bread. But 2 is like when they pack it in like bags and shit, it gets like in moldy containers. Grains, corn. When I was reading, it was freaking crazy. But yeah, try avoiding it at all costs. Anything that can get moldy. Yeah, atrazine. I don't even know how to say it because I was reading it. But that's basically a herbicide. Basically anything that they spray on like the food to kill the bugs and shit. Kill bugs so that it doesn't bite into the food. That's estrogenic as freak, bro. So like trying to avoid like okay, so yeah, in the book it was saying it's like on majority of the exported grains and it's also in your tap water, which is crazy. So if you do drink tap water, bro, get a freaking filter. Get a water filter. Get a reverse osmosis charcoal filter. Okay. But yeah, in exported grains, it's also like in like on mostly like fruits. You know, because they always have to spray herbicides on fruits and stuff. So you want to watch out for that. Like, that sucks. Triclosan and AP apes. This is basically the stuff in the soaps. Stuff in soaps. So you would just have to look at the freaking ingredients list on the soap and make sure it doesn't have triclosan. And because another estrogenic shit, okay? So, yep, soap. I don't even have a freaking estrogenic free soap, but you know, the more you know, the more you know. Red 3 and red 40. We already knew these artificial food colorings was bad, bruh. And one of them is, one of the reasons is that it's freaking estrogenic. And you know, like, I didn't say this earlier, but a lot of these things, like the ingredients, they're actually banned in like different countries. Like red 3 is already banned in like I think it's banned in the United States, or tried to be banned. But like in Europe, some of these like atrazines are already banned in there. Certain things. I don't know the ingredients, but I'm just saying that the United States has a lot of these estrogenic shit compared to other nations. Like other nations, they already banned it from their food product because they know it's not good. But United States has it because it makes a lot of money, you know. But yeah, so avoid red 3, red 40. Like those are in a lot of types of, those are in a lot of processed food, a lot of junk food anyway. So you should already be avoiding that if you want to increase your testosterone. Parabens, fragrances, a lot of cosmetic items has fragrances in it. So if it has this in the ingredients list, like fragrance, parabens, don't try to avoid them at all costs. Probably like just use, if I were to like make an actionable step with things like this, is like I'd only spray like cologne and shit when it's an important event, but you wouldn't spray that shit every single day. You know what I mean? Yeah, so parabens, fragrances, they're an estrogenic. Phthalates, BPA, phthalates and BPA, they're basically just plastics. And this is the hard truth, man, because a lot of, we're surrounded by plastics every day. This is made out of plastic, right? So yeah, plastics, additive, BPA and BPS, those are estrogenic. So shit like I think it said in the book, one like the better kinds is the number 2, 3, and 5. 2, 3, and 5 are good, but in general, try to avoid plastics at all costs. Mainly heating up plastic. So if you had a water bottle and you're gonna drink that water like that was heated up in the car, that's worse, because that plastic is getting melted into the water, and you're drinking that shit. You're drinking that estrogenic shit. So that's very bad. But yeah, if you're microwaving shit, make sure you microwave it in glass or not in plastic, okay? Because when plastic gets heated up, it's gonna go inside your water, which is not good at all. Sunscreen, this one was actually supposed to be a number 5, but I missed it. Sunscreen, honestly, you shouldn't even be putting on sunscreen. You need to be getting your vitamin D3, but anyway, the sunscreen estrogenic, that's very, very bad. Honestly, don't put on sunscreen. Basically, if you put on sunscreen, you're weird. Especially because if you want to increase testosterone, you need the vitamin D3, bruh. You need it. So don't do that. EE2, which is birth control. And we're guys here, so it's not like we take birth control, but you guys need to know that, like, at least in the States, birth control gets pissed out. in the toilet, and it still stay the EE2, that chemical, that ingredient, it still stays inside the water. So if anything, like a lot of these things, but EE2, some BPA, what else is in the water? Atrazine, parabens, like those are all in the water and they get circulated back into your tap water. So if you do drink tap water, it's not for me. Me personally, we don't drink tap water because the water is not that good. Anyway, we have filters. But if you're in the States, tap water, just avoid that. Avoid it or get a filter. You can't avoid tap water, but if you're gonna drink, make sure it's filtered. Whether it be the charcoal filter, I think that's the cheapest, or reverse osmosis, or some kind of filter. You can filter that shit out, and yes, it does like get most of it out. So always filter this guy. Filter. Yeah. Top 10 estrogenic shit. And I know that's a lot of shit. If we're thinking about this shit, well, just looking at this list, like, damn, we are surrounded by estrogenic shit. And it's not like we can completely eliminate them, but we can avoid as much as possible, slowly but surely. So yeah, that's the actionable step. Avoid estrogenic material as much as possible. Like when it comes to clothing, try getting cotton clothing, because the other types of clothing like polyester and what the freak is the other ones? Latex. They're made of plastic, xenoestrogens. Okay, so try avoiding those. Try getting cotton, getting wool, and especially because if you're working out in them, it gets hot. Not good. Plants, just don't eat. Be on carnivore diet. Don't eat the soy. Don't eat the flax. I mean, yes, some has some benefits, but we could just avoid it. We can just avoid it. We can live a life without soy. We can live a life without bread. Yeah, so try avoiding them at all costs. If we want to say why again, estrogen, when testosterone, and okay, so I just thought of something like there was a question like, well, if estrogen is the female sex hormone, wouldn't it be alright if females are exposed to this shit? And the answer is freaking no. Females only have like it's called micrograms, like 40 to 200 micrograms of estrogen, which is like very, 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 very small, very, very small. And men have 20 micrograms of estrogen at like the high end. And for context, soy and flax have like few thousand, some thousand micrograms, something per grams. Thousands, just off like a gram of soy or a gram of flax or some shit like that. It's just to put into context, like, no, they cannot, because it's way higher than their natural range. It's mimicking estrogen, so they're gonna have like problems, like big boy problems. Like, the book's called Estrogeneration. That's because when we as adults are exposed to this shit, our children are also affected by our exposure to this. It goes through the generations. Like, that's crazy, That's why we're getting a rise in like mental disorders and shit like that, because autism and weird deformities, because there's more than that happening now because we're exposed to a lot of it. And so it sucks, especially if you want to have kids. Like, your kids might pop out autistic if you're exposed to this for a long period of time. So try to avoid these things to the best of your ability, especially if you want to be a healthy, young, high testosterone man. Even I don't are isn't completely avoidant of these materials, but you know, the more we do, 1% better every day. If you guys want to read more on it, read Estrogeneration, okay? Because that's the book where I got it from, by Anthony J, Dr. Anthony J, PhD. Anyway, I'll see you guys in another video. If you guys want testosterone coaching, hit the first link in the description, and I'll see you guys later. Deuces.